Yes, amateur astronomers could get a clear sight of what's being called the Comet of the Century if it survives the next part of its journey across the solar system.
Comet ISON is a lump of ice, apparently, and rock which has spent millions of years travelling towards us. It's today expected to pass close to the Sun, and if it survives temperatures of almost 3,000 degrees Celsius, it should pass by the Earth next month.
Professor Carole Mundell is an astrophysicist, joins us now. Very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Give us your description of what's happening up there right now.
So what's happening is this lump of ice and rock and dust that's been travelling, as Louise said, from the edge of beyond the edge of the solar system for about 5.5 million years. It's actually reaching the Sun. It was discovered last September 2012, by a network of telescopes after which the comet's named. And then it was travelling about 90,000 miles an hour, we think. It's been hurtling towards the Sun ever since, and it's now reached about 900,000 miles an hour. And this evening at about 6:30, it will actually reach its closest approach to the Sun before, if it survives, it will actually turn around and then start going back out towards the edge of the solar system.
And this is what might happen. You say if it survives, because the temperatures are so high that it may not.
Indeed. I mean, the actual, what we call the fluence, or the amount of radiation from the Sun at the surface of the comet, is equivalent to about 3,000 fast-boiling kettles per square metre. So that's a huge amount of energy that's actually being pumped into the comet itself. And so three things might happen. It might actually stay together. It's actually having some of its gas and its dust, it's being evaporated off the surface, and that's what makes the cometary tail. But if it actually survives, it may come out as a whole body around the side of the Sun as it comes out. It may break into pieces, and then we'll have pieces that go along the orbit, or it may actually be completely vaporized.
So in terms of looking for it, we're very important people don't look at the Sun, obviously, to see if they can see anything, you know, in the next 24 hours. What about after that period of time?
So, absolutely, Charlie. I mean, I think the most important thing is do not look at the Sun. Definitely don't point binoculars at the Sun. There are some solar satellites that have special instruments to look at the Sun. They can block out the Sun's light, so you'll be able to see those online. You can actually see movies now. Yeah. SOHO and Stereo are two very nice solar satellites where you can actually see the Sun blocked out. You can see the solar storm that's currently happening, and you can see the comet coming in. From the ground, if you want to look either with your telescopes in the night sky, it'll be the beginning of December, possibly even the weekend, once the comet, at the moment it's south of the Sun, so as the Sun sets, the comet has already gone below our horizon before the Sun sets. In a few days' time it will actually whip round and it'll be north of the Sun. So at sunrise or sunset, if it survives and it's bright enough, you may be able to see in the dawn or the dusk sky, you may be able to see the comet.
It's been described as the comet of the century. Is that's if everything goes well?
It could be. These things are incredibly hard to predict, and in fact that's one of the things that makes them interesting. I mean, astronomers are interested to see what will actually happen. So we're hoping that it will be very bright. At the moment it is very bright. It's been brightening as it's been getting closer to the Sun. So we're hoping that if it survives it will be very bright for the next couple of weeks, first couple of weeks into December.
And ice and rock, it's constructed of ice and rock. Presumably as it goes towards the Sun, close to the Sun, the ice is melted away and you're left with what's beneath. What sort of scale are we talking about?
So, I mean, that's been happening all the way on its journey into the solar system. As I say, that's actually what produces the tail. Anyone who's seen very beautiful pictures of this tail, and some nice photographs on Twitter, you can actually see there are two tails, one tail of dust and one tail of charged particles, so electrons. And actually these are primordial ices from the beginning of the formation of the solar system 4.5 billion years ago. Well, we think it's probably about 3 kilometres across. But as I say, you know, we're not completely sure how big it is, and we'll have a better idea once it's gone around the Sun.
There's no danger from this comet?
No, I mean, fortunately, it's quite far away from us, about 40 million miles away. It will actually reach about 730,000 miles from the surface of the Sun, which is why it's called a sun-grazing comet. There have been comets that we've seen plummet into the Sun, and they're actually captured by the gravitational force of the Sun.
How much would you like to get a hold of a particle? Because that could tell you so much, couldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult for astronomers. Obviously, we can't fly a spaceship out to the comet and take a sample of it and bring it back to our laboratory. But of course, we do have the light that it emits, and all of the physical information about the material that's in the comet is encoded in the light that we catch with our telescopes.
And you know, in all those nightmare, I know you've said it's not coming our way, but you know, in all those nightmare movies, those horror movies, when a 3-kilometre sized comet, if it hit the Earth, which it's not going to do, would it be all over?
Well,
would we be jolted?
I think if we had a 3-kilometre asteroid, coming on a collision course to the Earth, we would be worried about it. The comet, you know, we don't know the rocky makeup. It may actually be mainly dust and gas, and so actually maybe less dangerous than an asteroid.
But it's coming nowhere near us.
No,
let's be clear.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So people should be watching out from tonight.
I would say look online tonight. There are some good movies that you'll see from the SOHO satellite and the stereo satellite. Just Google Comet ISON stereo SOHO. From the beginning of December, look in the early morning sky before the sun rises, or the early evening sky after the sun is set.
That's
Very
perfect
good. We'll keep
for
an
us.
eye on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to talk to Steph right now with news from the holiday.